Hello everyone, I'm Mike DeAngelo with That's Entertainment, and this is your video review of Metal Gear Solid 4 by Kojima Productions. When you think of video games as art, you may invariably end up thinking of the Metal Gear Solid franchise. With excellent direction, art, music, and gameplay, few would venture that Kojima Productions has not been at the top of their game with the stealth action titles. As the games progressed, their conveyed messages became stronger, and the style of the games took on new meaning. Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, has been released for PlayStation 3. Does it take up the torch of its predecessors, or does the latest console iteration fall under its narrative? "5 years after Big Shell in Metal Gear Solid 2, Snake has grown old and weary, his body advancing much faster than those around him. Despite his age, Snake continues to fight against a future that progressively looks even bleaker than the days before. War has become a job that sustains world economy. Anyone can become a soldier with the advent of nanomachines that augment personal abilities, eliminate unnecessary emotions, and help to control portions of small private armies. Snake is drawn into the midst of an ongoing struggle between the armies when his old friend Roy Campbell learns of a plot encircling Liquid Ocelot, his arch-nemesis. Apparently, Liquid plans on hijacking the network that links all of the nanomachines and somehow exploiting it to his benefit. Throughout the mission, Snake shares screen time with his friends, Otacon, Roy, and other favorites from his past operations, as well as his enemies, like Liquid and Vamp. As the game progresses, the player is drawn more into the conspiracy, and learns that sometimes, things aren't always what they seem within the Metal Gear universe.
We don't know what will happen. Remember the last time.
Because Metal Gear Solid has been a predominantly stealth-based franchise, this mechanic is still at the forefront of the game. Whereas the first two games of this series relied on staying out of sight of your enemies, and the third game revolved around utilizing camouflage to hide in plain sight, your covertness is created artificially in Metal Gear Solid 4. Because of the creation of the Octo Camo suit, Snake can effectively change his appearance to match any surface, doing an even better job of hiding than in the previous iteration, Snake Eater. The change in the sneaking mechanism isn't the only one that's been changed in this next generation adventure. The camera has changed to a third-person view, though over-the-shoulder and first-person views are both available as well. The inclusion of the new camera system is infinitely helpful since the battlefield has a good deal of changes in heights, complete with rocky outcroppings and debris that could otherwise inhibit the player. Combat, too, is slightly different. Besides being an old man who runs a lot slower than his younger counterpart, Snake isn't able to use all the weapons he picks up anymore. It is not until the player spends accumulated points to unlock the guns and equipment that he can use them properly. As with all Metal Gear titles, the boss fights are extremely fun as well, and cleverly designed. The bosses within Guns of the Patriots go even further, paying fan service tributes to prior titles. If gamers keep letting Kojima turn his Metal Gear franchise into a consistent work of art, we're liable to lose him from the game industry entirely. Every time a Metal Gear Solid title comes out, it seems as if it's part video game and part movie. Jokes aside, this is not a bad thing at all. The man is clearly a genius when it comes to crafting a tale, and the fourth installment in Metal Gear Solid is no different than the rest. With the new hardware available on PlayStation 3, Kojima Productions kicks it up a notch, and creates one of the most beautiful games ever made. It rivals even some of the high-caliber games that came out later in the PlayStation 3 timeline, such as Uncharted 2. Shadows and environmental features are stunning, and the cutscenes are magnificent all around. The sound, too, is unprecedented, perhaps only beaten by older titles in the same series. The musical choices seem just a bit weaker, but the voice acting is still leagues ahead of many other games.
Otacon.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
With a game as well crafted as this, you'd be hard-pressed to find excuses not to play again. But there are some specifics that should be a little more than enticing. For one, there are a lot of different ways to find your way through your missions. You can trade careful stealth with reckless violence in a heartbeat, and still manage to find your way through. Also available are loads of unlockables, such as new costumes, weapons, and equipment. That's not all, though. Packaged with Metal Gear Solid 4 is a startup pack for Metal Gear Solid Online. It isn't the complete game, but it should suffice well enough to get you going and keep you entertained for some time. Metal Gear Solid 4 is what a lot of people would consider gaming perfection. Clearly, Hideo Kojima is a man that knows what he's doing. Despite some minor grievances that can easily be alleviated by the player, there is nothing wrong with this game, while everything seems to fit in perfectly. While this game was released over a year ago, it still blows most games out of the water. That's Entertainment awards Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots a score of 10 out of 10.
So sorry. sorry I laughed.